Hello, good afternoon. Welcome to JoyNews Today. We're coming to you live from our studios in Kokomlemle. We're on DTT because we're free to on DSTV channel 421 and Go TV channel 125. We are your home of independence, fearless and credible journalism. Coming up this afternoon, JoyNews investigations reveal that aside from the increasing cost of treating water polluted by irresponsible mining, Ghana Water Company's treatment process cannot remove poisonous heavy metals from the water pumped to the homes across the country. More as the Ghana Water Company Limited assures it will do its best to provide Ghanaians with only wholesome water, as experts warn of dire consequences if illegal miners do not stop polluting the water bodies. Also this afternoon, former President Mahama vows not to allow his appointees to lavish should the NDC regain power. We have more from his Building Ghana tour in the Bono East region. Plus, in Parliament, NDC MP for Boko Central Mahama Ayariga sues Finance Minister challenging the legality of the Ghana Financial Stability Fund. We have details of that relief being sought by the MP. My name is Aisha Ibrahim. We're also live on Facebook, YouTube, Instagram, and X on JoyNews on TV. My personal handle is @Nana Aisha. Do stay for details. Mental scientists and public health experts are warning of the dire consequences if the pollution of our water bodies are not stopped. It follows JoyNews' investigations, which uncovered that aside the increasing cost of treating water polluted by irresponsible mining, the Ghana Water Company's current treatment process cannot remove poisonous heavy metals from water pumped to homes across the country. Tests conducted at the Ghana Water Company Limited's Taboase intake point of the Pra River confirms high levels of arsenic, lead, and chromium. Erastus Asaridonko has been speaking to experts on whether the company's current treatment process is capable of removing these poisonous metals. Here are excerpts of his latest documentary.
This is the Taboase intake point, where the Ghana Water Company Limited pumps and treats the Pra for distribution to Takoradi and parts of the central region.
I'm fetching a sample from what is being pumped from the Pra River.
Samples fetched from the Pra at the Taboase headworks of the Ghana Water Company tested positive for 0.288 milligrams per liter of arsenic, 0.186 of chromium, and 0.57 milligrams per liter of lead, all above the safety levels for these poisonous metals. But can the Ghana Water Company's treatment process eliminate the presence of poisonous heavy metals? We took a trip to the Materials Engineering Department of the College of Engineering, KNUST, to speak with Engineer Dr. Benetta Kumsen. She has been researching into heavy metal removal from water using nanotechnology, mineral waste reprocessing, minerals processing, and waste management.
Some suspended solids have the ability to remove heavy metals. A typical example is the iron oxide or iron oxide based materials. So for instance, if you have magnetite, maghematite, which is more like an oxidized form of a magnetite, it has the ability to remove these. So once these are the kind of suspended solids we have in the system, they would interact with the heavy metals in there and would certainly have some, or undertake or undergo some sort of adsorption in the system. So when they remove the heavy metal, these suspended solids, which are iron oxides, then you are sure that some levels of heavy metals would have been removed. But typically, removing those ones doesn't clean water of heavy metals present. Currently, what Ghana Water is doing doesn't take care of that. It takes care of bacteria, microbial stuff in the water. But with respect to heavy metals, I can give you samples of water which contain heavy metals. They may be as clear as you can imagine, but then they would have high levels of heavy metals in them.
The Pra is polluted mainly by miners opening their residue into the river at Chifu Kotoche, Chifu Praso, and Shamfans sitting on the river. But District Chief Executive for Wasa East, Emmanuel Boache, told our team there are no resources to fight them.
We try as much as possible to get outboard motor attached to the canoe so that we can track those guys. But what we realized was that there are a lot of stones in the river. So you cannot run through the river to that place. I think some time ago, two military men died on this very river, because of this mining in the river issue. So that has become a challenge to us. And that's the more reason why we are unable to take them away from the river.
Listen to experts who are warning the country will be in danger if illegal mining is not dealt with immediately.
But it's also important to realize that prevention is better than cure. We don't wait for the water to be poisoned before we start throwing our arms in the air. The previous report said this is an issue, but unfortunately, they did not explore what is the alternative. Because if most of the sachet water producers are using Ghana Water Company water as their source before they create the sachets, we have no recourse, we have nowhere to go to. So we have to stop contamination of our water bodies. We need to test the wells and boreholes, especially those in the mining areas, to see how far they're exceeding the limits. And we need to raise awareness of the impacts of heavy metal pollution, especially in those communities that are high in galamsey activity. We also have another source of lead and heavy metals, and that is from the processing of e-waste. I know government has tried to make some improved measures to prevent this, but we still do not appreciate the long-term impacts all of these pollutants are having on our populations. In such a way, we are mortgaging the future of our children because of short-term greed and commercial gain. It's something that we need to address as soon as possible, and this is something that has to be done nationally. I don't think we should focus on any one particular entry point into the system, because we're also getting heavy metals and pesticides through the consumption of food. We need to take a step back and have a holistic solution on how do we reduce the amount of pollution that we are getting in our bodies.
But the problem, which Professor Gordon mentioned, is the cost involved in producing wholesome water is increasing. And if the cost is going up, we already know the economic situation, the cost of production goes higher, it has implications, especially for those in the lower socioeconomic brackets. It has implications for the cost of doing business and so on and so on. So and so on and so forth. So one may argue that the so-called gains from mining will be completely eroded by the costs that would be incurred in trying to purify this water. To the solutions which you asked about, Professor Gordon also mentioned again that we have some locally appropriate technologies to be able to do this. which can chelate some of these, or shall I say, to use a layman's term, to amass together some of these heavy metals and take them out. Very simple, cheap. This is the time to explore some of these. And then also, the next step will be to equip the Ghana Water Company with the tools that are needed should we exceed these thresholds to be able to remove these heavy metals. The wiser thing to do will be primary prevention. Stop the water from getting polluted. This problem is not only in Ghana. Even in the US, they've had serious problems with water flowing from taps, which is contaminated with heavy metals. They've had congenital anomalies and big problems, health issues with water that has been contaminated. So far in Ghana, we've not had any water coming from our taps that has these heavy metals. So what you're doing right now, Aisha, is part of the solution. Start making noise now, because otherwise we are mortgaging our future big time and it will not be worth it.
Meanwhile, the Ghana Water Company says it will ensure that only wholesome water will run through our taps. Listen to its communications manager, Stanley Marty.
If we get to the point where we are unable to treat the water to meet the drinking standards, we'll shut the treatment plants down. Okay, so Ghanaians must be rest assured. There's no way we'll pump in unwholesome water for people to consume. Anytime we are unable to treat the water to that level, we just shut it down. And this must be a caution to all of us. And then those who are involved in the Galamsey, the few of them shouldn't put all of us into this mess. Okay, we need water to consume and to stay safe, stay healthy, so we can be productive for our nation. But we can't allow a few people to hold all of us to one stop. Seriously, per our policies, if we cannot meet the standards, we shut down.
You want to make a date at 8:30 p.m. on the JoyNews channel for part 3 of Poisoned for Gold. Let's get on to other stories. Speaker of Parliament Alban Bagbin says there's a huge disconnect between what members of Parliament earn and the financial expectations of their constituents. Delivering a speech at the Speaker's Breakfast Forum with CSOs, Alban Bagbin claimed despite receiving relatively low salaries compared to ministers, there's a significant financial burden on MPs, including funding weddings, outdoorings, and other social events that are not necessarily the responsibility of an MP. According to Alban Bagbin, this is leading to a high attrition rate among MPs. He argues the race to enter Parliament has now become about who can dole out more money and not who truly represents them on the floor. Parliamentary correspondent Kwekwa Asante was at this event. He joins us with more. Kwekwa, there have been remarks on behalf of the two leaders of the House. What have they been saying?
Both leaders in so able to do their work. One significant theme that has come up is the need to have officers in the constituencies. There are very few MPs who have that, and Parliament has been struggling.
There seems to be a challenge with connection with Kwekwa Asante. We'll try and get Kwekwa Asante back to tell us more about this. Do we have Kwekwa Asante back? All right, we'll try and bring Kwekwa Asante back. But first, let's look also at the leader and founder of the All People's Party, Hassan Ayerga, who has described the 2024 budget statement as a strategic campaign budget for the ruling NPP. According to him, the budget is a means of gathering enough resources for the government to campaign ahead of the 2024 general elections. He spoke in an interview with my colleague Nana Boachi-Yadom in Kumasi.
Take on the budget. I think that it's a budget prepared to get enough resources to campaign. It is not a feasible budget. It's not a budget that all the things they've mentioned, cutting down some taxes, thinking that they are going to lure Ghanaians to do A, B, and C. Look at this budget. In the budget, they made mention they are going to cut down taxes on electronic cars. Who is interested in electronic cars in this country? Number one, whose idea it is to bring in electronic cars for us to cut down duties on them, to take off duties on them, and all taxes on them. What it means is that one of them is bringing in those cars. And as a result, they want to make money. You cannot say that you are cutting down on taxes on electronic cars when we have Kantanka that we can promote, but Kantanka is paying taxes, but those coming with electronic cars are not paying taxes. Clearly, there is some kind of kululu going on with this budget. And this budget cannot show the way forward for Ghanaians. It's only talking about we are going to do this, we are going to do that. They have said this over the period, and they have not been able to fulfill one budget policy they raised last year. So the finance minister should have come, when he came to the parliament, he should have told us that they have completed A in their last budget, B in their last budget, C in their last budget, and now they need more to raise the next budget. But they came without any results of what they have completed. So clearly, my brother, if I ask you what this budget is, this is called a campaign budget. It's a campaign budget.
Former President John Dramani Mahama says modesty will be the guiding principle for his appointees should the NDC regain power. According to him, the use of luxurious vehicles, for instance, will not be allowed in his government. Mr. Mahama, who is touring the Bono East region as part of his Building Ghana tour, says his appointees must be ready to submit to accountability.
And that I pledge to you that things will not be the same. It is not going to be business as usual. I'm not going to be the one who will tell you things I cannot do. Anybody who comes to serve in our government must not be arrogant, because you must be accountable to the people. The people elected you to serve them, not to lord it over them. And so one of the things we don't want to see in the next NDC government, we don't want to see arrogance. The people are suffering. And so you must be modest. We don't want to see people driving Rolls Royces and things when people cannot get food to eat. You must be modest in how you live. You must be truthful. You must tell the people the truth. And then finally, you must be prepared to be held to account. That is what leadership is about. If a public trust is put in your hand, you must be ready to account to the people who put that trust in your hand. And so when you are voted into office or you are appointed as a minister or some public official, you've been given a public trust. And so the people can ask you to account for what you've done. And if you haven't held that public trust well, you can be sanctioned. We must deal with corruption. If people hide money under their beds, when people are hungry, we must not attempt to clear them. The president must not be a clearing agent. If your appointees have done wrong, let the institutions deal with them, so that it will be a deterrent and others will not do the same.
Mr. Mahama says when voted into office, his government will restore the lost hope.
I know that most of you are disappointed, and I know that most of you have lost faith in our democracy. In 1992, when President Rawlings signed the 1992 Constitution, we were all happy because we said democracy has come, we are going to see progress and development. Unfortunately, many young people look at their lives today and say, I don't believe in this democracy. I have no opportunities to improve myself. And so I don't even see the reason why I should vote. There are many young people I talk to and say, I won't vote because I don't see the need for it. But I beg you, don't lose hope in your country. Ghana has a bright future. We can turn things around. We're going to lift Ghana and put her back on her feet. And the only way we can do that is if you contribute your vote to the decision that we're going to do in 2024. And so please keep hope alive. Don't lose hope in Ghana. Ghana is a country that has great potential. And I can assure you that I will do my best.
From Bono East, let's head to the central region where Mfansipim School is now cutting the help of parents to bail them out of their power crisis after the government defaulted on payments. Headmaster of the school, Ebenezer Kobina Ado, in a speech at the school speech and prize giving day, revealed the school is in distress and can currently not afford to pay electricity bills. He disclosed that out of 204,000 accumulated between January and October this year, the government has only paid half, with an outstanding amount of 115,000 Ghana cedis. Listen.
We don't have enough furniture in the classrooms. Currently, we need 250 desks to ensure that our students are well seated. These students are using battle chairs in the classrooms, which is not comfortable.
Headmaster of Mfansipim School, Ebenezer Kobina Ado, sharing some of the challenges the school has been grappling with, ranging from the payment of prepaid to the general issues of infrastructure. He wants parents in the various houses of the students to lend their support.
High cost of electricity. We are on prepaid. And we always struggle to purchase power. This year alone, from January to October 31st, we have spent 204,000 cedis on prepaid. Fortunately, the government has given us 89,000 Ghana cedis, leaving 115,000 cedis. This is indeed very worrying and frustrating as a school. Installation of solar panels on various blocks would be a better option for us. Meanwhile, I wish to call on all parents of various houses to support the purchase of power in these houses.
Presiding Bishop of the Methodist Church Ghana, Right Reverend Dr. Paul Kwabena Boafo, wants management of the school to continue to maintain the standards and the principles of the school.
But to always be a standard here at all times, and the board would want to plead with the management that our Christian values, our Christian principles are not left behind. Even in this age where we seem to acquire knowledge at the expense of morality, we pray that Mfansipim will stand tall and churn out, nurture students who will come out with a heart, who will come out with a love for nature, who will come out with a love for humanity, who will come out with a love that is beyond the artificial intelligence.
A Moba 93 and head of the Medical Intensive Care Unit at the Kolebu Teaching Hospital, Dr. Yao Oforieje, wants the educational system to be more inclined towards technology so the country's industrialization drive could be supported.
We must move beyond short-term fixes and embrace a holistic approach that equips our students with the skills and knowledge needed to navigate our ever-evolving digital landscape. It is imperative that we introduce digital technology at the early stages of education during the formative years of our children when their cerebral capacity has no limits. It is not enough to simply introduce technology in our classrooms. We must empower our educators with the tools and training necessary to maximize its potential.
The Mfansipim School has been holding its 147th anniversary that got many old students and the various stakeholders of the school joined them to take stock of the activities of the school in the course of time. Reporting for Joy News, Richard Kwejenyako.
We can now go back to our earlier story where Speaker of Parliament Alban Bagbin says there's a huge disconnect between what MPs earn and the financial expectations of their constituents. Delivering a speech at the Speaker's Breakfast Forum with CSOs, Alban Bagbin claimed despite receiving relatively low salaries compared to ministers, there's a significant financial burden on MPs, including funding weddings, outdoorings, and other social events that are not necessarily the responsibility of an MP. According to Alban Bagbin, this is leading to a higher attrition rate among MPs. He argues the race to enter Parliament has now become about who can dole out more money and not who truly represents the people on the floor. Parliamentary correspondent Kweku Asante joins us. Kweku, there have been remarks also on behalf of the two leaders of the House. What have they been saying?
The demand to be constituency offices from members of Parliament. A lot of MPs who don't have offices in their constituencies. It means that they would have to use their own houses for certain personal revenue to be able to do that. In the speech that was read on behalf of both leaders by Emmanuel Amakofipo on behalf of the minority leader, as well as Lydia Sarah Malasan on behalf of the majority leader, they stressed the importance of getting these constituency offices. We've also been hearing from Kathleen Addy, the boss of the National Committee for Civic Education, NCC, and she sort of has been responding directly to the Speaker's claim that MPs are not paid so well but are expected to do so much. He said that MPs go to the conference and campaign using the same thing. They go to outdoors and pay money. Now, when you become MPs, you are expected to carry through the same way you campaign, and so that cannot really be a function of the low salary of MPs. So other CSOs have also been sharing their views about the 30 years of parliamentary democracy that we've practiced in the country over the last 2 years. Whilst many of them believe we have done enough, we've been able to achieve a lot as a country, there are those who are sharing their views that it will take some time to
We'll definitely get Kweku back on the line to get a clearer explanation of what he's saying. We'll also try and get him on the Member of Parliament for Boko Central, who has filed a petition and sued the Finance Minister, Ken Ofori-Atta, challenging the legality of the establishment of the Ghana Financial Stability Fund. Mahama Ayariga argues that the fund was established without parliamentary approval in violation of the Constitution of Ghana. When we get Kweku Asante on, he will be telling us more about the claims and also the reliefs that he's seeking. Let's get on to other story, because the ruling MPP has fired 4 of its members for publicly endorsing an independent candidate other than its flag bearer, Mahamadou Bawumia. The 4, namely Hobson Adoye, Yao Boabian Samuel Nano Hininto, and Boniface Abubakar Sadiq, are said to have breached the party's constitution. There's a statement that was released this morning and signed by the General Secretary of the party, Justin Kodia. I'll be sharing that statement with you shortly. But the statement is entreating other members to take note and focus on activities that will help the party win the 2024 elections. Let's take a break on Joy News Today. When we return, there's more.
Hello, welcome to the business segment with me, Emma Davis. Ghana will record an average inflation of 18% by the end of 2024. That's according to the forecast by the Economist Intelligence Unit. This was captured in its updated Africa Outlook report. Here's more.
This will be a significant fall from the average of about 38% in 2023. According to the UK-based firm, Ghana's average inflation in 2024 will place it 8th in Africa, but lower than Nigeria. It said inflationary pressures are expected to ease from the more elevated levels recorded in 2023 for all but a small handful of African countries, including Seychelles and Sudan. It added that an easing of consumer price pressures will be a welcome relief for policymakers and households. However, inflation will run strong into 2024 and remain a central story for several large economies, including Angola, Egypt, and Ghana.
Now, Anglo Gold Ashanti Obuasi Mine is investing in educational development within its catchments by creating a rich pool of human resources for the mine's sustainability and other services necessary for development. The company has cut sort for the construction of an examination printing center for the Obuasi municipality aimed at improving academic performance. The company believes the availability of a well-educated workforce would ensure sustainability of the mining industry. There's more in this report.
After its revitalization in 2019, the Anglo-Gold Ashanti Obuasi mine has committed to boosting the economy of the mining community across diverse sectors, including education. Under its 10-year socio-economic development plan, the mine has carried out numerous community developments. The latest is the construction of the examination printing center for the Obuasi municipality. The 2.4 million project, expected to be completed in 4 months, will be the sole exams paper production hub for the municipality. Jacob Edmond Aqua is Senior Manager for Project Service and Business Development at AGA.
Helping as part of our 10-year socio-economic development plan, we are helping education in the municipality. It includes a lot of things that we've started already. We are building a robotics center for the Obuasi Secondary Technical School, for example. We are also training teachers in many leadership programs. So far, we've trained about 525 teachers. We also provide learning materials. We've provided about 30,000 learning materials for the various schools in the municipality.
In the preceding year, the Obuasi municipality accumulated 94% pass rate for the Standard Basic Examinations, BECE. Municipal Director of Education Alfred Kumsen is optimistic the new facility would shoot up the performance.
I won't say we were facing much challenge because parents in Obuasi municipal, and I'll take this opportunity to appreciate the effort they are putting in. When it comes to examination, parents from time to time help the schools. When I say parents, the Parent Association, they help the schools to print questions for their wards. So now that the printing center is in, it is going to actually save parents the cost of printing examination.
What should we expect from results at this kind of case?
Yes, already Obuasi Municipal has been churning out good results in examination. As it stands now, as at 2022, our BECE performance pass rate was 94%. Now with this machine in place, we expect nothing less than 100%.
The company also cut salt for the construction of a 3.5 million Ghana cedis chips compound at Epitikoko community, which is to be completed in 7 months. For Joy News, my name is Emmanuel Brightquick.
That's all for business. My name is Emma Davis. For more business news, do log on to myjoyonline.com. Up next is sports. Do stay.
You're still watching JN Today, and it's time for sports. My name is Harun Obarak. Now, the Ghana Police Service has begun a search for individuals who attacked head coach of Nsantreman Maxwell Konedu during the game against Bofokatano on Sunday. Konedu was physically assaulted and eventually hospitalized at the Sunyani Regional Hospital, where he's expected to stay for a minimum of 2 days. The Ghana FA has also issued a temporary ban on Bofokatano from using the Coronation Park as their home venue with immediate effect. For more, we've got more for you at 2 p.m. on Sports Today. My name is Harun Obarak, and World News is up next.
Time now for showbiz. Urban gospel musician Scott Evans on Saturday at Aliza Hotel in Tema held the maiden edition of his concert Grace is Luxury, which gathered a lot of urban gospel musicians on one stage. My colleague IB was there and has more in this report.
Perez Music, MOG Music, Kwesi Oteng, Lali and Lola, King's Kid, and a host of others were the performers who got on stage at the Grace is Luxury concert at Alisa Hotel in Tama, an event by gospel musician Scott Evans. Getting off stage, these were their honest opinion of how they saw the whole concert.
Grace is luxury, man. I just expected a demonstration of God's grace through the diverse gifts that are arrayed on the show tonight, and I've seen a magnificent performance.
It's a good feeling, something new. I love it. I love what Scott is doing.
Everybody reacted wonderfully. Like, we're in a place where you can feel the spirit. You can feel that everybody came here to celebrate Jesus, and like, it was just wonderful on stage.
Scott even brought up his A game, he and his team, and I want to say kudos to them for an amazing job. This is great.
Scott Evans believes that urban gospel is the new thing and everybody should fall in line with it because it has come here to stay.
The whole idea is to make sure that Afro gospel music or urban gospel music stick to the young people of this generation. This is the culture that I stand for young people of this generation to enjoy music, being it Afrobeat, being it Amapiano, being in hip hop, R&B, but still have the content of the message of God. And I wanted to prove that tonight. That is why I intentionally put all these guys on who solely came to do gospel song that has Afrobeat, that have hip hop, have R&B and dancehall.
Episode 6 of the most entertaining and educative game show on Joy Prime, Step Up with Syntax Tank, last Sunday saw 2 ladies from University of Ghana representing Volta Hall and 2 gentlemen from University of Cape Coast representing Valco Hall mounting the stage one after the other to answer questions with hopes of walking away with cash and amazing prizes from sponsors. At the end of the episode, Selassie from Valco Hall emerged the only contestants to make it to the intermediary stage of the show, earning him 500 cedis. Unfortunately, the rest of the 3 contestants weren't able to make it to the intermediary stage, leaving them with no cash. Here's what you missed.
Complete the title of the popular Ghanaian movie, Harvest at... Is it? Let's see the possible answers. Is it church, farm, 1770? I know this movie, so I know you're wrong. And it breaks my heart. Because the answer is actually what? 17. Oh. Give it up for her. My man, it is my honor to ask you to step up. Give it up for him. Influenced you.
I'll go for later.
You're very sure?
Yeah.
Okay. Deriving from a Hindu phrase meaning learned one, which English word describes a broadcaster, commentator, or writer who specializes in analyzing politics? Computer, please reveal the answer. What manashime? Thank you very much for playing. You still get to walk away with 500 Ghana cedis cash. Music. And let's see the first question. To which music group or duo did singer Efia belong before going solo? Give it up for her. You want to go science?
For science, yeah.
You want to go for science?
Yes.
All right, let us see the first question. Which is the largest organ in the human body? Is it A, blood, skin, bones, or veins? Computer, please reveal the answer. You're wrong. Computer, shall we see the correct? It's skin. I was right.
And as I wrap up the bulletin this afternoon, my name is Aisha Ibrahim. Log on to myjoyonline.com. There's more of the news and updates of all the developing stories. Over there, you'll find stories including NPP sacks Hobson Adoye, Boabenga Samoa, others for campaigning for Alan Tremantain. There's more of the stories when you get there. My name is Aisha Ibrahim. Do enjoy the rest of our programs.